Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rose and today's topic is money. Okay, so to put it into a context, I made a video before about fragrance addiction slash shopping addiction. Basically spending all your money, burning all your money and not knowing where it went because you bought too many fragrances. A lot of them you might not even end up using, and you're just not feeling good with yourself anymore. You're not feeling content. You're just not comfortable with how much you're spending. So if you have been there, then this video is for you. If you haven't, then maybe still check out this video so you don't fall into this trap of shopping addiction. I will say very honestly about myself that I have a tendency to overspend. Whether it's fragrance, it used to be clothing as well, makeup, I would buy too much and I wouldn't even end up wearing the clothes that I bought. I wasn't even, I didn't feel good. It didn't feel right that I was spending so much on all these products. And yeah, I was in that position before. So I got you if you're there right now. So there's a couple things that I would recommend if you want to change that kind of behavior. So first of all, very simply, just look at what you've got every month. Write down what you actually have to spend every month. Let's say you have this and this amount, so you write that down and then you look what you have left and then you decide how much you want to spend each month, okay? So very simple, very basic, just set a monthly budget and don't go over it, okay? You have your monthly budget, stick to it, you will feel so much better. Then my second tip is do not impulse buy, guys. Do not impulse buy. Don't go shopping when you feel emotional, when you feel stressed, when you feel sad, when something happened, you're crying, you just want to make yourself feel better by just buying the whole shop. Don't do it. Don't do it, because in the end you actually feel guilty and you will buy a lot of stuff that you don't actually need, okay? Don't impulse buy, don't emotional buy. Take your time. When you're in an emotional state, deal with your emotions and don't cover them up with a lot of material things. Instead, buy when you feel in an emotional, stable place. And also, don't buy something just like on a whim, just because you see it. If you're buying a fragrance, try the fragrance first. Don't just buy it because it's new. Don't buy anything because it's just limited edition, because that's how sometimes brands try to trap you, because they're like, oh, it's only available for so and so long, so you have to buy it now. But don't just buy it because it's limited edition and you feel that kind of thing of like, oh my god, what if I miss out on it? No, because first of all, a lot of the times actually things come back. Like if you think about this fragrance, for example, was limited edition by Jo Malone. This was from last year and it actually reappeared again this year. The same fragrance, just a different bottle. So a lot of the times actually things reappear. The same things happen with Lush and other brands as well, where the limited edition is maybe only available for a certain period of time in the year, but a lot of the times it will come back the next year or even a couple of months later. And if you really do not end up getting it ever again, it's not the end of the world. There's so many fragrances out there for you to try. If you didn't get that one fragrance, really, it's not the end of the world. There's so many similar fragrances. So you have so much to discover. Going with that as well, I never would recommend you to blind buy. I understand that if you live in a very secluded area on the countryside where it's really, really hard to get stuff, that you might want to blind buy stuff, or you might actually have to blind buy it. I get that, but try to avoid blind buying. I would really strongly recommend to try the fragrance before buying. You can try to get a sample, you can try to get a decant. Nowadays you can get those subscriptions where you get a decant every month. I used to have that, by the way. When I was living on the countryside, I was subscribed to a fragrance decant shop and they would send me monthly decants of several different fragrances, so that I could still try new fragrances, I could try niche fragrances. I didn't have to go to the store because there was nothing at all where I was. So this was a great way to still try new fragrances without actually committing to a full size. And in the end, if you have a decant, if you have a sample, you can try it a couple of times at home. You're in the safety of your own home. You can take your time. And I feel like a lot of the times when we go to the store and you just try it once, it doesn't actually give you so much of a good impression, because fragrance, you get the top note first. If you try too much, your nose just goes blind, you don't smell anything. It depends sometimes on your mood. Sometimes you mix the fragrances all together because you tried too many. So having a decant, having a sample, I think is such a good way to try the fragrance before buying and to really make an informed decision. That's what I would recommend you to do. Make an informed decision of what you actually want to buy, not just what you feel like buying in the moment. I understand if that happens every once in a while. You know, it's fine, it's normal. But try to test them before. Make a list of the fragrances that you actually really feel like you want, and then you can just slowly buy the stuff from your wish list. But these are going to be the fragrances that you've tried multiple times and that you're really sure, even after, you know, some days, some weeks have passed, that you still really want them. And then I think it's totally fair to purchase them. My third tip would be to look at what you actually already own. So you might already actually have a huge fragrance collection or lots of clothing or whatever, lots of handbags. You already own a decent amount of things. You know what happens to me every once in a while when I look through my stuff and I, you know, like I just recently found a pair of sunglasses that I didn't even remember having, like literally didn't remember having. And I was like, oh my God, these are so pretty, you know, these are so nice. I'm so happy that I found them again. They were just like somewhere lost. So, you know, sometimes you forget about stuff that you actually own, or you just haven't looked at your, let's say, fragrance collection in a while. Like certain fragrances, when you bought them maybe a year ago, over a year ago, you just kind of stop wearing them. Sometimes there's not even like a big reason for it. It's just you moved on to other fragrances. So look at your own fragrance collection, spray each fragrance on a piece of paper or on yourself or whatever. Enjoy them again. Like, be happy for what you have, be grateful for what you have. And yeah, there's a lot of the times you just, for me at least, that happens. Like there's a fragrance that I don't know, I just stop wearing them and then I smell it again. I'm like, wow, this is so beautiful. Like I'm so happy I still have this, you know? And I'm happy that I was reminded again that I own this and then that I'm gonna wear it again. And a lot of the times fragrances that come out may be kind of similar to something you already have. So if there's a new vanilla fragrance, a lot of the times you're probably already, you know, you already have a vanilla. Check out the vanilla fragrances that you have and then think if it's really like a very unique fragrance and very different from what you already have, so that it's worth purchasing. And then last but not least, what I would strongly recommend you, not just related to purchasing fragrances and other things, but in general, do not compare yourself with other people. Do never ever try to compare yourself with other people, because you will always feel bad from it. Really, trust me. When you look at Instagram, other social media and so on, you see lots of people who have lots and lots of stuff. You also sometimes get the idea that that's like the norm. And realistically, I'm pretty sure that in your normal surroundings, people don't have like thousands of products like hanging around and they just don't keep buying lots of stuff every week. Because what you see on Instagram, I mean, we all know it, right? But sometimes it's really good to give yourself, you know, to just remind yourself again, Instagram and so on, YouTube is not the reality. It's like if you compare yourself with somebody that has like loads and loads of fragrances and you're like, oh my God, I really have to grow my collection. No, compare yourself only with yourself. Compare yourself with yourself a year ago, okay? And relate to purchasing, it's like, you know, buy what you can buy, what's in your budget. Don't buy because you feel a certain way. Just buy because you tested it well and because you really still want it. And thirdly, be happy and grateful with what you already have and wear your fragrances or your clothes or your bags. Take that bag, take that fragrance out again from the back of the shelf that you haven't worn in a long time and take it out now, because very likely you have a lot of things that you haven't worn in a while and that you actually, if you really look at it again, you would really enjoy still. So that was my little video about mindful spending today. I hope it was a little bit interesting or helpful to you. Please give it a like if you did like it. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye bye.